the live broadcast on a very important day in the history of the world. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI, popularly known as Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. It is the 6th day of the month of June 2024. And this morning, for the next 1 hour or thereabout, we will be having some special discussion. Bear with me as I come back in just about a few minutes. And as we start this special broadcast, please share the program and invite as many people to come and learn history. As the world is celebrating history today, we hope that one day the Yoruba people would also be celebrating such in not too long from today. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nílé lóko pé ẹ tún káàbọ̀ sórí ètò wa, ètò ìkànnì Koikimedia, níbi tí a ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìran Yorùbá àti ìdí tí Yorùbá ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ kúrò látara Nàìjíríà. Tó bá jẹ́ lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ yín lẹ máa kọ́kọ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, ẹ bá wa pín ètò yìí. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ tó ń lọ lágbàáyé lénìí, but iṣẹ́ tèmi ni pé kí n sọ tó ń lọ lágbàáyé. Mo kí brother mi Olúgbẹ̀dù àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ̀ ń ṣe ọjọ́ ìbí lénìí pé happy birthday to you, and as you celebrate the new year of your birthday, may the Lord be with you and every single one of us. As I say, look at the topic that we are discussing. I want to share a bit of what it means and how the Yoruba people can also think about such an important day as is celebrated across the world today. You might be asking me, what is it that is being celebrated? And I'll bring you up to date in just about a few minutes. But kato bere etoye, because today is more like not just a sobering day for the people that are celebrating it, it's also a day that they can say that, yes, we did it. Yes, we survived it. Gbogbo ẹni tó ní àní survive during this course of the self-determination, we will survive it. We will conquer. We will win. We will be the last people that will celebrate a day when that eventually comes, as Baba Kitoye will finally put the final straw and those surrounding him, including you and myself. Kí la fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí lénìí? It is known as the Normandy Day or Normandy landing. Normandy landing took place on the 6th of June 1944. What does it mean? I'll be telling you all the facts that you need to know. Today is a big day. King Charles is on his way right now to attend it. The Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, many important dignitaries around the world, they are already in France. Bishemba Insoro. Kilo mean siwo. Kilo mean si jatawa nonja lowo leni. This is why we need to understand that the people that are fighting today, one day we would also be celebrating like the Yoruba landing day. And that is why I have used that topic. And that topic that we are treating, as you can see it for those of you that are watching. When is Yoruba D-Day? Nijo oni Yoruba no mani D-Day. That we will be landing and take ourselves back from the contraction known as the 1914 fraudulent amalgamation. But ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ gbọ́ Olóyè Ìgbòho from what he said, the reason why he came out to support the Yoruba nation, when many people thought that it was not worth it to fight. But people that have fought during the 1944, June 6, they are being celebrated today as women that have become very old, men that have become very old, even those that have died. They are all being remembered in what is known as the Normandy Day. known as the D-Day. Ijokoma Waye, the D-Day of the Yoruba will also happen in our own lifetime. Eba Mishami, Moki Bubu Ale Nkonsi. Let's listen to Oloye to start with.
Wọ́n ní mi sí ìjọba, mò ń lọ ń dá sí nǹkan tí ó kàn mí, ṣùgbọ́n tó kàn mí mo dá sí lórí pé ọmọ Yorùbá ni mí. Bí ìjọba bá wà tí ò sí ẹ̀tọ́ tó yẹ kó ṣe fún aráàlú tí wọ́n dìbò fún tó jẹ́ ìjọba lé lórí. Tí ìjọba bá wà tí ààbò bá sí fún aráàlú tó olóòṣè ìjọba lé lórí, aráàlú dìde fúnra ẹ̀. Kì í ṣe pé mo pàṣẹ àbí mo dédé pàṣẹ àbí mo kàn sọ nǹkan tí ó wá látọkàn mi. Nǹkan tó fa ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni pé ẹ̀yin náà wò láti bí ijọ́ mélòó kan sí bí ọ̀sẹ̀ bíi méjì sí nípa ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn Fúlàní tó wà ní gbogbo Ìbàràpá. Ẹ wo dókítà wa Dr. Fatai, PhD doctor, ọmọ Yorùbá tó kàwé tó gboyè, ó wá lọ sí òyìnbó ní àìníye ọdún tó lọ ṣiṣẹ́. Ó wá dé okòó dé, ó wá lọ lu bàbá ẹ̀ ní gangan. Ó dá oko àgbàdo, ẹ̀gẹ́, iṣu, oríṣiríṣi nǹkan, soya beans. Ó dẹ̀ gba ọmọ wa ní gangan bẹ́ẹ̀ náà sí bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀tẹ́ tó ń bá ṣiṣẹ́. Fúlàní wá jẹ oko ẹ̀. Ó wá gbéra láti lọ bá àwọn Fúlàní yìí sọ̀rọ̀, láti lọ bá Sẹ́ríkì Fúlàní pé ẹ wá wo ohun tí àwọn ọmọ yín ṣe lórí oko mi, kò yẹ kó rí báyìí lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá mi. Wọ́n dẹ̀ dé lókun bẹ̀ náà, wọ́n dẹ̀ sàpà. Àìmọye èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ tá a lè mórúkọ wọn làwọn Fúlàní yìí bẹ́ lórí tí wọ́n pa wọ́n. Wọ́n jí àwọn kan gbé, ẹni tó bá gbowó tó kéré lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ wọ́n gba 7 million, wọ́n gba 10 million, wọ́n gba 11 million lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá wa. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí dùn mí, ó bà mí lọ́kàn jẹ́ gan. Tá a bá torí pé tó Ọlọ́run gbà bá wa, àwa ará àwọn ọmọ tí ń tẹ̀lé wa tó ń ṣààbò fún wa, àwọn tí ọ̀lẹ́ tí ó tẹ̀lé wọn ń kọ́. Ìdí nìyí tó mú mi lọ síbẹ̀ yìí. Ìgbà tí mo dẹ̀ débẹ̀, ó tí mo lọ fún ni kí n ti lọ bá a. Pé ṣégun tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí lórí ilẹ̀ wa sọ́dá, ẹ ti ń gbé pẹ̀lú wa, a lè fàyè gba yín, a bá yín jà, a ṣe nǹkan jàmbá fún yín. Ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni mò ń bá Sẹ́ríkì sọ̀rọ̀ làwọn ọmọ rẹ̀ yí ọ̀bọ̀n sí mi. Mo gba ìbọn yẹn lọ́wọ́ ìkan yọ àáké àgbà, ìkejì tún yọ ìbọn mi. Ìyẹn ti ẹ̀yìn ẹni bá wọnú fídíò yẹn tó bá fídíò wọn, ó yin ìbọn yẹn sí mi kí n tó lọ́bọ̀ yẹn mọ́ lọ́wọ́. Ẹ bá gbọ́ fídíò yẹn pé ìbọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí dáhùn bẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n yin ìbọn sí mi ń bẹ̀ kí n tó bájà wá ẹ̀yìn pípò yìí tí n bá bájà wá ẹ̀ ní dúró. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti wá lè wá àtúnṣe sí ọ̀rọ̀ jíjígbé àti pípa àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n wa àtàwọn àǹtí wa, àwọn bọ̀dá wa àtàwọn ìyá mi àtàwọn bàbá mi tẹ̀lé wọn lóko mọ́ yìí o. Ó fẹ́ tàkẹ́ forí lẹ̀ bàbá wa lẹ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ náà ń fà yìí sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn kí sọ̀rọ̀ ọjà. Àwọn kan gbé wọ́n fẹ́ pa àwọn mùsùlùmí, kílọ̀kàn mi kan mùsùlùmí, kílọ̀kàn mi kan kírísítẹ̀, kílọ̀kàn mi kan. Gbogbo táwọn ń fà yìí èmi ò nídìí kẹta. Àlàáfíà Yorùbá ni mò ń wá, mi ń fẹ́ nǹkan kan bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n dúnkokò tọ́pọ̀ jù. Wọ́n dúnkokò ntọ́lọ́hún. Táwọn tí ń dúnkokò náà mọ̀ pé àwọn dúnkokò mọ́ mi. Ṣùgbọ́n ohun tí èyí jẹ́ kí ẹ̀rù bà mí ni pé ó ń bẹ nínú Bíbélì pé tí ẹ bá ń jà fún ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ lórí nǹkan bàbá rẹ̀ tó bá kú síbẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan kan. Torí pé mo mọ̀ pé gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe yẹn fúngbà díẹ̀ ni. Wọ́n dúnkokò láti bí ìjẹ́ ẹni tọ́rọ̀ ẹni ṣẹlẹ̀ ń sìn ni wọ́n ti ń pè mí. Àwọn fẹ́ wá, wọ́n máa arrest mi, wọ́n ti ń send message oríṣiríṣi, wọ́n fẹ́ wá gbé mi nílé. Ẹ̀rù kankan ò sì bà mí. Gbogbo àwọn ọba tó wà ń bẹ pátápátá inú wọn dùn, wọ́n sì fọwọ́ sí pé ìyà tí ń jẹ àwọn yìí ti tó, àwọn òfin Fúlàní lórí ilẹ̀ bàbá wọn mọ́, pípa ti tó, àwọn tí wọ́n ń pa iná làwọn jọba lé lórí. Tí fídíò sì wà, àwọn ọba gan ni wọ́n ń pè mí pé ìyà tí ń jẹ àwọn yìí ti tó, àwọn tí wọ́n ń pa àwọn ọmọ àwọn tó ń pa yìí lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la àwọn náà làwọn sì jọba lé lórí. Ó ti tó bẹ́ẹ̀, kò sí àgbààgbà Yorùbá tínú rẹ̀ ò dùn sí pé kò sínú àgbà ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n náà ni, ẹ̀rù ń bà wọn bàbá wa ni. Inú tí wọn náà dùn bí wọ́n ṣe ń pa wá bí Fúlàní ṣe ń jí wa gbé tó ń gbowó lálá lọ́wọ́ wọn ò dùn, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ̀rù ń bà wọ́n kọ́ bá mọ́ yọ wọ́n nípò ibi tí wọ́n wà. Sẹ́wọ̀n yìí pé nígbà tí wọ́n ń jí àwọn aráàlú gẹ̀gẹ̀ gbé tí wọ́n ń pa wọ́n, tẹ́lẹ̀ kankan sọ̀rọ̀ ń bọ̀ ya wọ́n lọ jí ọmọ ọba gẹ́gẹ́gẹ́ gbé ọmọ ọba tí ń bẹ lórí gẹ́gẹ́ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ wọ́n jí ọmọ bàbá gẹ́gẹ́ gbé fúnra ẹ̀ tó fún kó díẹ̀ bí wọ́n sì gba 4 million lọ́wọ́ bàbá kan tó gbọ́ ọmọ bàbá fún bàbá àwọn Fúlàní torí pé ń bọ̀ ọba ya àyè ti gba àwọn Fúlàní ìdòdò pé wọ́n wá gbé ọba fún ẹ̀ nú ààfin wọ́n ní kọ́ lọ kí wọ́n náà lọ dáwọ́ jọ àwa Yorùbá sì sùn a sì dákẹ́ a sì sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn bàbá wa dẹ̀ dákẹ́.
And that is how we kickstart. I can tell you right now, looking at the update at about coming up to 3 minutes past, the United States President Joe Biden has arrived in the Normandy ahead of the D-Day commemoration. His picture with the getting off of the Air Force along the First Lady Joe Biden at the Cannes Caprico Airport in France a time ago. The president will be attending the commemoration ceremony throughout the day. What is the meaning of D-Day? In Jogbori, Kanton Sokwe, D-Day, the 6th of June 1944. This is the reason why you stick to Koikimedia, because this is the platform that carries you along when it comes to international activities and why we can link that with Yoruba Nation. Ìgbàgbọ́ wa ní pé bàtí bẹ̀rù làbọ̀ mọ́ ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká jọlá ìṣọ̀kan àtòmìnira ní kẹ̀kẹ́ ká máa lépa ìtẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtò tó dára ọmọ Oòduà bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ̀ ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀ àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. And I'll take you through a bit of history this morning. Like I said, all the citizens that are French citizens, according to a Twitter or an X handle at GoodAble, every year on the anniversary of the hashtag D-Day, the French citizens take sand from the Oma beach and rub it into the gravestone of the fallen soldiers who gave their lives to liberate Europe. Ta ló máa fún wa ní liberation? Ta ló máa dúró when the time comes to support that the Yoruba people do not become the past? That is the reason why we will celebrate Oloye Igboho on a daily basis. Because he has stood out of millions of Yoruba people to stand in the face of the evil Fulanis that have destroyed and killing the Yoruba people on a daily basis. That is the reason why you must support Yoruba Nation, because the French citizen, Iluti Wanofilogbe, at some point, if you have the opportunity, on a day like this, which is the 6th day of June every year, in 1944, there was a lot of activities that liberated people. Who is going to liberate the Yoruba people? That is the reason why you must put all your effort and your time and everything you have to make sure that you support this movement. Because liberation is not going to come without a sacrifice. And I'm not talking about killing each other. We will sacrifice with our voice, with our money, with our time. You will have sleepless nights. It's only 8 hours if you want to liberate yourself from the shackles of the 1914 amalgamation, just like it happened in 1944. Because 1944, people rose to defeat the Nazis that were killing the French people. Some of you are sitting back because could consign it. Some of you are waiting because it is not yet time. While millions of Yoruba people are being massacred and killed on a daily basis. When are you going to rise up and also be involved in the Yoruba struggle? Don't sit back. It is everybody's responsibility, Just like the French people continue to say thank you to the heroes and the heroines that made them to be liberated today. Liberation is not going to come without sacrifice. France. That is why you need a Shanghai visa to travel through French country. Because àwọn kan ló liberate wọn, àwọn kan ló sacrifice ayé wọn kí ìwọ náà fẹ́ fi lọ gbé níbẹ̀. So when we talk about liberation and the self-determination, some of you always think that it is a joke. Today is a big day. Intole mú Joe Biden to leave America and travel all the way to France. It is an important day. It is called the D-Day. Níjọ́ wo ni Yorùbá náà máa ní D-Day and land so that we can be free from the shackles of the West. That is the message this morning. Don't sit back. Owó ló ní, get involved. Knowledge ló ní. Don't wait until we are all eliminated by the agenda of the Fulanis that is there. Gbogbo wa la mọ̀ pé agenda yẹn wà. But we live in denial because we are waiting for somebody or something to happen. We will all have to be involved, just like those that are getting involved supported it in 1944, June precisely. Let's first go through the history, because ẹni tó mọ ìtàn ó gbọ́dọ̀ bá àrọ́bá. Many Yoruba people want me to throw away the history of where we started from. And maybe I should remind you again this. Ẹ ń sọ pé kò ní wá sí ìmúṣẹ. Yoruba people will be free. Ẹ jẹ́ tó gbọ́ pastor ilé nǹkan sí. So that because it is still a negotiation, as Baba Kitoye said, it is still dialogue. Dialogue now. Kó tó di pé ó máa late. Dialogue now. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́n tí pastor yìí sọ. Ẹ má dialogue.
Dialogue now.
No, don't let them dialogue. Ẹ jẹ́ kó má dialogue. It might be too late for dialogue. Àwọn tẹ́ fẹ́ dialogue wọ́n lè náwọn gbọ́ mọ́. Ẹ gbọ́n tí pastor yìí sọ.
Dialogue now. I repeat it again. I'm not an evil man, but I'm telling you what I'm shown in the spirit. What? I'm seeing great people, important people in this nation coming together and saying, now, okay, we want to sit on the table, let us talk. But the people you want to talk with are saying, it's too late. Please, dialogue now. The days ahead are evil. Dialogue now. This is not a cry of a baby. It's a cry of an adult. I repeat it again. Dialogue now. The Bible said, blessed are the peacemaker, for they shall be called the children of God. Please, every authority, there come a time when a revolution is about to take place. The power of God, bombs and bullets cannot hold an ideology. Please, dialogue now. This is not the time of, I have bullets, I have gun, I have bomb. This has nothing to do with bullet and bomb. If you know what I'm seeing in the realm of the spirit, everyone in federal authority should take the Biafra agitation serious. If you are once a founding father of this nation, sit down around the table and listen to your children. Dialogue now. This is not the time to arrest anybody. It's the time to hear the cry of the people. Dialogue now. Because it's going to be the last resultant solution at the end. But when you are asking, when the king comes down from his throne and he's saying, I'm ready to talk, and everybody is throwing stone at you, then you will know that it is important to dialogue with honor and prestige and go out and there is peace in the land. Dialogue now. I repeat it again.
Let's hope that the government will take heed to dialogue with those that would say they want to be free. The discussion is focused on the Normandy Day. Normandy is a very, very important day. By King Charles àti ìyàwó, they are already in France. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ará France. I can see them already on the train. and I'm sure they can see the amount of security that is present today in France or probably Paris and in those areas. So let's go to the history of the Normandy Day. What do we know and what can we talk about it? Let me first give you the summary. This event takes place in France and also in the United Kingdom to mark the 80th anniversary of the Allied invasion of France. The United States President Joe Biden, King Charles III, and among the world leaders attending this ceremony. 5 years ago, 225 veterans traveled to Normandy for the commemorations, but this year they were just 23 because at Bati Day, some of them have died. People that sacrifice, people that put their life in the front line, people that say that they want to be liberated. Commemoration also taking place at the National Memorial at the Arboretum in the Staffordshire for the United Kingdom veterans unable to travel to return to France. All this is happening. I can see already the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer, has arrived at the British Normandy Memorial near the village of Var-sur-Mer in France. He was also pictured alongside the Defense Secretary, Grand Charles. This is not the day for politics. They put politics aside and they unite. This is what we are having problem with. Let us unite so that we can push and get ourselves out of Nigeria. But some of you are still throwing all kind of patrons all over the place. The Western leaders are already gathering in the Normandy to mark the 80th anniversary of what is called the D-Day landing, which began the liberation of the France in the World War II. Ogun World War II was supported by many people to free people that are now enjoying liberation that me and you want to run to their country. We will now want to go to their country after people to liberate themselves. Let us liberate ourselves today. Some are saying, no, I don't want to be liberated, Yoruba Koiki. Stop wasting your time. No, let me waste my time and my energy. Because one day, you will all save my own face in the future and the generation. And I will be present in a Yoruba country. I don't know about you that disagree with me. Because our man know Yoruba, our man need passport Yoruba, our man padà wá build the economy ilẹ̀ Yoruba, just like Baba Akintoye told us. But today, ẹ lọ sí French embassy, ẹ fẹ́ gba French visa láti lọ síbẹ̀. But people fought to liberate themselves, especially today in the history known as the Normandy Day, D-Day. Níjọ́ wo ni D-Day náà máa dé fúnlẹ̀ Yorùbá? Tí gbogbo wa máa sọ papọ̀, tá máa sọ pé enough is enough. Like Baba Akintoye said, that we must push that crisis. That crisis would then allow the international community to get involved. Without that crisis, you are not going anywhere. But for now, we will continue to liberate ourselves with well-informed awareness, like this platform of ours, where we will bring you up to date with exactly what is happening that links with the reason why we need to liberate ourselves. Táwọn bá lè liberate ara wọn ní 1944, we can also do the same thing in 2024. Tinubu will not liberate you. Don't expect liberation from Tinubu. It is going to be a push that we need to give Tinubu so that we can be liberated. Don't expect PDP to liberate you. It is going to be a push. Don't expect any of your governor because our kings have now rose up to liberate us. Once again, we appreciate you all. Those and one Konomo Yoruba thought at the point when this is going to happen, I will be in the front. I will not be at the back. This is not the time for joking. Ere Yoruba nation, it is very, very important because it is going to liberate us for the rest of generation to generation to come. Just like 80 years ago, people were being liberated in 1944, June 6 precisely. When are we going to liberate ourselves? That involves me and you, not just myself. Olóyè nìkan ò lè ṣe, Baba Akintoye nìkan ò lè ṣe, gbogbo wa gbọ́dọ̀ come together in one formidable force and push those that do not want us to get our freedom and our liberation. Liberation, ò lè rà ní Tesco, ò lè rà ní Asda. You cannot buy it in Mushi Market. You cannot buy it in Ojo Elegba. It has to be something that we will demand and we will take it. But some of you said no. So let me take you to the history of the D-Day. What do we know? Let me first give you some of the 10 facts. Mẹ́wàá, things you need to know irú ọjọ́ ìní, so that when táwọn kan bá argue pé Yorùbá nation wọ́n ló ń jà fún, máa sọ fún wọn pé bó ṣe ń jà fún Yorùbá nation bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n ṣe ń jà fún ìjọ kan tó ń pè ní D-Day. Tó bá tẹ̀lé pronounce Normandy, máa rántí D-Day pé Koiki sọ pé D-Day àwọn kan jà ní 1944 láti liberate àwọn èèyàn wọn. We must fight to liberate ourselves, not literally using weapons, but with everything that we have, our intellectual, our knowledge, gbogbo tí a ti mọ̀ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ tó ti bí wa sáyé, we must use it to liberate our people, because our people have been kept in bondage for the last 110 years of the fraudulent British 1914 amalgamation. 10 things you need to know about D-Day. Ẹlòmíì ò gbọ́ rí. This is the platform that will enlighten you about why Yoruba needs to be free. Number 1, let's go straight to it. D-Day, known as the June 6, 1944, was the largest, and we're going to see Yoruba people trooping from Benin Republic, Togo, Ghana, from all over the world to come and represent when the D-Day of the Yoruba landing comes. Choma joko sinu diaspora, wa ma sọ pé kó máa bá lọ, ó ń bọ̀. Or you will also put your foot down and support it when that right time comes. Àwọn ọ̀dún tá lọ jókòó sí tí gbogbo wa wà lẹ́nìí, it is because people fought for the liberation. Ìyẹn la ṣe lè jókòó sínú ẹ̀. Ìjọ táwa náà bá ti dìde ta liberate àwọn èèyàn wa, the next generation will remember every single one of us. This is the reason why you must support self-determination. D-Day, 6th of June 1944, was the largest amphibious invasion in the history of warfare. Látijọ́ tó ti ń jagun ní gbogbo àgbáyé, it was the D-Day. Òun ló yàtọ̀. The statistics of the D-Day, code name Operation Overlord, is staggering. Tó ń ṣe wọ́n tó ń fẹ́ dọ̀tẹ̀ tó fẹ́ dìtẹ̀ fún ọmọ Yorùbá torí pé wọ́n máa fún ẹ ní peanut. You are looking for information láti fi jẹ́ kí wọ́n fi mú wa. You are looking for information to derail the system that we are putting to make sure that we can liberate ourselves. Òun fi mú filẹ̀. Ọ̀dàlẹ̀ balẹ̀ kú, ẹni tó bá dalẹ̀ máa balẹ̀ lọ ni láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Because when they were putting this together, tabarẹ ẹni tó dalẹ̀ fún wọn, ni máa celebrate lẹ́nìí. Because people that were all involved wọ́n ṣẹnu múkẹ́lẹ́ until when that invasion happened. Ó dé bá àwọn yẹn lójijì. Gbogbo tá a máa ṣe kọ́ la máa sọ lórí social media mọ́. Don't expect me to come and tell you everything that we are going to do, because in 1944 there was a code name called Operation Overlord. Yeah, come, they can't see you. Operation Overlord. Let me do that, because I'm already in life now. For me to see. Operation Overlord. Níjọ́ wo làwa náà máa ṣerú ẹ̀. Níjọ́ wo làwa náà máa ṣerú ẹ̀ láti fi free ara wa. Níjọ́ wo la máa ṣe láti fi ṣe kíni láti fi free ara wa. But many of you, ẹ fẹ́ sit back, ẹ kàn fẹ́ jẹ́ kí Yorùbá nation kó dé, kí wọn náà wá jẹ́ nú ẹ̀, ó fi darapọ̀. But níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ní 1944, àwọn náà ní operation. Kò sí àwọn tó ń jàjà fún láti liberate. You must come together in one uniform. Kò ń ṣe pé àwọn kan máa ṣe tiwọn ní Sokoto, àwọn kan máa ṣe tiwọn lójú Ẹlẹ́gbà. Àfẹ́ wà lábẹ́ bàbá Kítóyè nítorí pé ó slow jù. Ṣèbẹ́ ti lọ sọ́dọ̀ onítìrì, ẹ̀ tí ríbi tó gbé yín dé. Ibo ló gbé yín lọ? Carry you go nowhere. All different groups forming themselves. Instead kan wà lábẹ́ bàbá kí gbogbo wa make that push. Olúkálùkù fẹ́ jẹ leader, wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ leader. Ṣèbí òun lẹ́ ń jẹ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn. Baba Kítóyè remained the leader of the Yoruba self-determination. Bẹ́fẹ́ bẹ́kọ̀, ẹ máa accept it. I am not saying the leader of all the Yorubas, because aláwọn oríṣiríṣi leaders tí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá. Bẹ́ẹ̀ àṣà bàbá lẹ́kìtì, àwọn jẹun tán fi gbogbo ẹ̀ jẹun. So in 1944, àwọn kan kóra wọn jọ ìlú oríṣiríṣi, America, France, Italy, Canada, wọ́n kóra wọn jọ, wọ́n ní a máa lọ liberate àwọn kan ní 1944. That is what is called the D-Day. The Allies, the statistics of the D-Day, codename Operation Overlord, is staggering. Tó bá ní kan staggering, nǹkan tó heavy gan. The Allies used over 5,000 ships Do you understand what that means? 5,000 ships were moving in one direction. Niger only 5 million Yoruba people will move. We move. We will shut down Nigeria with 5 million Yoruba people. That move right. What? Everything will shut down. But as you learn to madni, Koiki send owó oúnjẹ sí mi. Mo fẹ́ fún ìyàwó mi lóúnjẹ nílé. Ìyàwó ẹ̀ jẹun tẹ́lẹ̀ rí ni. Oúnjẹ ò ló ń fún tẹ́lẹ̀. Tí bá ti lọ fún 3 days nísìn, kí ni màmá fi tọ́jú ìyàwó mi? Kí ló fi ń tọ́jú ẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀? Idiot all over the place. Anyway. When we move with 5 million of us, ní gbogbo state kankan, kò sí bá balẹ̀ ẹni náà. Tá bá tẹ̀ níbọn, tá ní kondo 5 million. Come on, move ní. Tá mama move. Attention, tí gbogbo ẹ dúró tán. Wọ́n bí bàbá wọn dá. Èèyàn mélòó ló fẹ́ pa? But ẹ̀ ń dúró. Olóyè ó yá máa bọ̀, wá gbà wálẹ̀. No. We will all move. Olóyè ò lè sí ní gbogbo state. Àwa la máa dúró ní gbogbo state kankan. La máa gbé ìgẹ̀ wá síta. La máa gbé ìgẹ̀ wá síta. Tá bá fẹ́ yìnbọn kan yìnbọn yẹn. A máa gbé ìgẹ̀ wá síta dúró dè wọ́n pé ẹ̀ tó bẹ́ẹ̀. Àwa la nílẹ̀ yìí. But ẹ̀ ń dúró fún àwọn European country. Àwọn European country tó yẹ pé inú Nàìjíríà lọ ti ń suck you dry. They are not going to liberate you. Wọ́n ní liberate wa bọ́ ṣe lọ liberate D-Day. Àwa la máa liberate ara wa. Àwa la máa liberate ara wa. Nobody is coming to liberate you. You will have to liberate yourself. They don't sell freedom. You will go for it. You will take it. The Allies used over 5,000 ships and landing aircraft to land more than 150,000 troops on 5 different beaches in Normandy. One landing 150,000. Ìjọ la máa rí yẹn. Because it's ready. When we are ready, we will know as at the time. But for now, we are not ready. But àwa ò ní dúró. We will not wait for you. The landing marked the start of a long and costly. Do you understand that? Nǹkan tó wọ́n tó mú ẹ̀mí lọ, ẹ̀mí tí wọ́n ò ní bá lọ lágbára Elédùmarè. Nǹkan tó wọ́n ló pè ní costly. Tó bá rí mọ́tò kan nísìn tó jẹ́ pé bá ọmọ mọ́tò yìí máa wọ́n mẹ́ẹ́n ó yàtọ̀ sí kérépe tó ń gbé káàkiri. It is costly. It costs lives. But today, they are liberated. That is what we are asking for. Tó dìjà láàrin gbogbo wa. Tọ́nà wa kàn fi gbógun wa. But Buhari pa 29,000 people. Ìyẹn ò tí ṣogun. Mo kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Kò ní ju 1 hour lọ. This program ends in almost 34 minutes from now. It is called the D-Day. The landing marked the start of a long and costly campaign. Campaign là ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ nísìn. Wọ́n kí lẹ̀ ń ṣe lọ́wọ́? Ẹ kàn waste time. Ẹ ti ń pariwo Yorùbá nation látọdún mẹ́ta. Kò mú kankan jáde. Ó kù díẹ̀. A costly campaign in the Northwest Europe, which ultimately convinced the Germany High Command that defeat was inevitable. Níjọ́ tí gbogbo wa bá ti dúró tán, ta ready. That will mean the end of Nigeria. And it is going to happen. How soon is what I don't know. When is what I don't know. But it is coming. It is moving. It is moving and it is not going to stop. Tebaro pa wa ma dákẹ́, ní dákẹ́. Mo ní D-Day was a day that millions of people were free from the bondage of the German Nazi. O ṣá ti gbọ́ àwọn Naziri. O gbọ́ Nazi. But ẹmọye àwọn tí wọ́n pa nígbà slave trade. That is another day story. But let's stick to the D-Day. How they got liberated. And I'm going to put the picture in a minute. And when I put the recorded video back on YouTube and Facebook, because those are watching me on Facebook right now will be able to see the images. I started with Igbo's picture because that is our own commander under the leadership of Baba Akintoye. But for now, image that I'm putting on now are the allied forces. So do not talk about me. Don't bear weapon. Talk about liberate and one young. 5,000 ships go duro. Tale Europe ma liberate our. And rather than want to liberate you, no, we would have to be pushed to liberate ourselves. Nobody's going to liberate you. Who is going to liberate you? Nobody ma liberate you. Àwa la ma dúró dáadáa. Olúkálùkù ma ṣe tó mọ̀. And we push. We move. Obi wonder. O ma sa. 5 million. Kó jáde. Kó ma lọ sí direction kan. Gbogbo àgbáyé ma bèrè pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. That is what Baba Kito is asking for. Kò ṣe pé ká lọ máa pààyàn, ká lọ máa jólé. No. We all fold our hands and move together. Kò ṣe pé Koiki máa lọ mò ń bọ̀. Mo ti dé tán. No. It is called Normandy D-Day. 80 years ago, wọ́n ṣe celebrate àwọn èèyàn wọn. Àwọn kan ti dàgbà. 2 nurses to train as nurse died along that route as well. Wọ́n máa lọ ń gbé àwọn injured soldier wá. Bí ọkọ̀ wọn ship wọn ó explode. One was 28 years old. One who ma marry, ìkan was 32. I was watching it this morning. Let's go further. Number 1, 10 facts you need to know. Ma kọ sílẹ̀, ma jot note. D-Day was the start of Operation Overlord. Overlord. Ìjọ́ ọ̀la wa náà wà bẹ̀rẹ̀ operation wa. Tí àníwárẹ́ ẹni tó máa gbàbọ̀dè tó fẹ́ sniff láti lọ sọ fáwọn security. Hey, wọ́n ti fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ o. Hey, because of 10 naira tó máa fún ẹ, I pity your life. On the day of June 6, 1944, Allied forces ó shock àwọn Nazi occupy France. Wọ́n expect the one máa dé just like ìjọ kan máa wà táwa náà máa dé tí wọ́n ní expect wa. You're waiting for me to come and tell you, no, we will all move together. The Allied forces, not 1, not 2, not 3, launch a combined naval, air, and land. Our team government, so we might not have everything. That is why we would have to be the one to make the push so that àwọn kan á lè wá support, gbogbo ìlú lè má support, but some countries will have sympathy for the Yoruba people. I don't know which of the country yet, but some will know that truly these people needs to be free. The assault on the Nazi occupied France. D in the D-Day stands simply for day, and the term was used to describe the first day of any large military operation. Níjọ́ ní gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, pátá ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, and around the world will say that we are ready for the D-Day landing of Yoruba nation. Níjọ́ on the early of June 6, níbi aago mẹ́fà ni wọ́n yọ síta nígbà tó máa yọ àwọn tó jẹ́ ń tó fi lọ bá. They were shocked. Wọ́n gbà pé yes, àsìkò máa tó láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà lágbára Jésù Kristi. Inshallah, what God cannot do does not exist. Ó kù díẹ̀. The Allied airborne forces parachute into drop zones across the northern France. Ground troops then landing across 5 assault beaches: Utma, Oma, Gold, Juno, and the Sword. By the end of the day, the Allied had established a foothold along the coast and could begin their advance into France. When are we going to go into the advancement? That we push. Well, ṣebí answers ni wọ́n ṣe tí àwọn èèyàn tó ń sá káàkiri. Imagine if every energy, every strength is put towards the push. Nigeria will never work. There is no amount of your prayer. Nigeria is dead, gone. We have buried it. We are just waiting for the final burial ceremony. Kò lè ṣiṣẹ́. Let's look at the following one. And I have it here. In France, au noir et de patrie, la France vous appelle. Liberation. In multiple terms. When are we going to liberate ourselves? It can happen. It can be done. But not just by me alone, by every single one of us. Àtọmọdé àtàgbàlagbà. Every one of us must play a role. ẹlòmíì kó share program lásán kò lè share. Òun kọ́ ló ń gbójú síta o, èmi ni mò ń gbójú síta, but kò lè share program torí ayé ń já, kò fẹ́ kú, ó fẹ́ lọ Nàìjíríà. Koiki tí bá lọ Nàìjíríà wọ́n dẹ̀ lè mú mi o. Wọ́n á pè sórí program, ẹ má jẹ́ kó mọ̀ pé mi ni mò ń pè. No problem. At least àwa ṣáà ti gbójú síta. Kò lè sí nǹkan tó máa fi wá ṣe lágbára Jésù Kristi. Let's go further. Number 2, torí pé program yóò gbọ́dọ̀ ju 1 hour lọ, and it's already almost 20 minutes as I can see with the time. So I'm going to move swiftly. Number 2, Overlord opened the long-awaited second front against Germany. The defeat of Germany was acknowledged as the Western Allied Principal War aimed as early as December 1941. Open a second front would revive pressure on the Soviet Union in the East, and the liberation of the France will weaken Germany's overall position in the Western Europe. The invasion, if successful, would drain German resources and block access to key military sites, securing the bridgehead in Normandy, and will allow the Allies to establish a viable presence in the Northern Europe for the first time since the Allied evacuation from Dunkirk in 1940. Number 3, D-Day required detailed planning. Hey, Koikimedia Yoruba Nation, why now? Declare no. It needs planning. It needs detailed planning. When you get a country, you hold on to that country, you will be the one in control of your resources from that day. Country. I want ignorant people. Now to back country. Of course, I shall military with me. Number 3, in the fact about D-Day, it required detail. Up to the last thing that you can ever think of. Up to the seconds. Ṣé tá bá move ní primary by? Ṣé tá bá rìn by? Ṣé tá bá lọ by? Gbogbo ẹ wá fẹ́ sọ Yorùbá Nation di àwọn Kúnlé Afọláyan àwàdà kẹ́ríkẹ́rí. Kí máa wá kí máa sọ pé ibi tá ń lọ lẹ́sẹ̀ ní ti bá tẹ̀ mọ̀ ṣẹ́nu tèmi lẹ́ẹ̀kan ti sọ síta. Nígbà tó ń ṣe D-Day ní 1944, wọ́n sọ pé detailed planning. It required detailed planning. Sometimes planning mi à máa lọ tó lè take some time. Ẹ kọ́kọ́ fún owó, ẹ dá owó ọ̀ràn mílíọ̀nù 10. Ẹ kọ́kọ́ lọ máa dáwó yẹn. Then we will know what to do at the appropriate time. Máa sọ pé kò ní wá sí ìmúṣẹ lágbára Ọlọ́run, ó ń bọ̀, ó ń kù díẹ̀. The push is getting closer. And the gods of the Yoruba land, from the Jesus and the Muhammad, are also in line with us. Lieutenant General Frederick Morgan and his team of the British, American, and Canadian officers submitted plans to the invasion in July 1943, a year before the invasion. Wọ́n submit gbogbo plan wọn pé ọ̀nà tá máa gbà lélẹ́yìí. Ẹlòmíì nísìn bó ṣe máa fẹ́ gbọ́n tí wọ́n sọ when it talk to security. I know we share Yoruba Nation, kò ṣe Yoruba Nation no. Ó yá ẹ bá ń connect mi pẹ̀lú Olóyè Ìgbòho. Olóyè kí ló ti kú ìgbé là ń lọ nísìn. Àwọn ọ̀tá wọ́n ti sọ pé ló yíká Olóyè Ìgbòho, but Ọlọ́run ọba Elédùmarè tó láyé tó lọ́run tó lóyè gbà fún pé Ọlọ́run ló lẹ̀mí òun. Ẹ ní rí mú gbogbo ọ̀nà tó bá máa lò pátá tá máa fi rìnrìn àjò yìí kò sẹ́nì kankan tó máa mọ̀. Òun àtọba Elédùmarè tó dá ló máa dàrẹ́tẹ̀ àti bàbá Akíntóyè. Tó o bá lè tẹ̀lé wọn lẹ́yìn àti Ọ̀túnba Démọ́lá, go and start your own movement. Kò sẹ́ni tó dì yín mú. Detailed planning 1 year before the invasion. Àwọn military officer wọ́n submit fáwọn committee. Àwọn committee wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń wò. Detail. Ìyẹn ló ṣe wà successful. Ìyẹn ni Joe Biden lè fi travel lẹ́ni. Tó bá jẹ́ pé kò wà successful, táwọn ọ̀dàlẹ̀ ti kó sí wọn láàrin. Bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan ṣe fẹ́ wá kó wa sí láàrin. Níbo lẹ bá ṣẹ́ dé? Níbo ló kù sí? Because some of you are not ready. Majority are ready, but àwọn kan sniffer dog ni wọ́n. Níbo lọ sọ̀rọ̀ dé? Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin akọni. Mo kí ẹ̀yin iron lady. mo fi tiyín sọ̀rọ̀ lórí program ẹ bá mi cut back ẹ bá ń sọ fún wọn pé kó dúró dáadáa, we need those women. Àwọn kan ní obìnrin dáadáa tó dúró fún olóyè tó ń pè ní Iron Lady Group. Iṣẹ́ ń bọ̀ tí gbogbo àjọ máa ṣe. Òkú díẹ̀ nìbọn ró. Ẹlẹ́dàá dọ̀yọ̀ ariwo àlọ́ àpọ̀. Lórí àrí Yorùbá ìlọsàn yìí, no retreat, no surrender. A máa délẹ̀ lérí lágbára Jésù Kristi. Let's move swiftly because of the time. Program yóò gbọ́dọ̀ ju 1 hour lọ. Although limited planning for the invasion of Europe began sooner after the evacuation of Dunkirk in 1940, but the detailed operation for Operation Overlord did not begin until after the Tehran Conference in 1943. A command team led by American General Dwight D. S. Hoover was formed in December 1943 to plan the Navy and the air and the landing operation. Deception campaign. Deception campaign. Gbogbo nǹkan ló wà involved. Tẹ́ bá ń jàjàgbara. Everything is involved. Tẹ́ bá ń jàjàgbara. Ẹgbọ́n nǹkan tó sọ níbẹ̀. Deception campaigns were developed to draw the German attention. Àwa náà máa ná àwọn deception. Tá máa ná àwọn kọ́kọ́ tá máa ṣe tá máa fi distract ẹ̀mí wọn kúrò nítorí pé ibi táwa fẹ́ gbà àfẹ́jẹ́ kọ́ mọ̀. Àfẹ́jẹ́ kí Fúlàní mọ̀ tá bá ń bọ̀ nínú igbó. Kò ń ṣe kí wèrè kan ti lọ sọ fún wọn pé Ìgbòho ti wà lọ́nà o. Mo ti rí signal torí tẹ́lómi wá nìyẹn. To sell us back out to the criminals. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin bàbá mi, ẹ̀yin brothers mi tẹ́ wà nílé. Tẹ́ dúró dáadáa. Ọba Elédùmarè dúró ti gbogbo wa. Àjọ máa délẹ̀ lérí ni. I told you that I will make it down when that time comes. Wọ́n ní pàtó ẹ̀ fún mi láti UK. Let's go further. There was a deception campaign láti draw attention àwọn German so that láti direct wọn away from ibi tí wọ́n land the 5,000 ship sí. From the Normandy. Because if you don't, move them, how will you land the 5,000 ship? So ẹ̀kọ́ lọ máa ṣe nǹkan kan níbẹ̀ yẹn ni ẹ̀kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ níbẹ̀ yẹn àwọn máa lọ síbẹ̀ and the 5,000 ships landed about 6 a.m. To build up the resources for the invasion, to build up the resources, a ní ká dáwó ká lè ní resources ká lè build it up. Wọ́n ní àfẹ́ dáwó. Mo mọ̀ pé máa dá ó kù díẹ̀. A máa dáwó yẹn. I know that. To build up resources for the invasion. Jade. To build up the resources for the invasion. British factories increased production, and in the first half of the 1944, approximately 9 million tons of supplies and equipment crossed the Atlantic from the North America to Britain. 9 million of equipment and supply. Ṣé a lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé ká tún revolve pé ká tún máa ṣe flyers in 10 million. Koiki náà ó ti fẹ́ kówó jẹ ó tútù bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ lọ wo Koiki o ó tútù ń fẹ́ gba owó o. Ìbí kan tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ nìyẹn àbí. That is why some of you don't want to support anymore. Ó ti kówó jẹ gbogbo owó Yorùbá nation ló wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ o. But ní 1944 wọ́n build the resources àwọn factory ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ rẹpẹtẹ láti fi sọ pé a máa gba France padà lọ́wọ́ àwọn olórí burúkú German níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Tábà wí tán nísìn ẹ dáwọ́ ó tútù dé o ìyẹn lọ́ máa rí mú. Àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ó kù díẹ̀ àtolówó àti tálákà gbogbo ala máa jẹ breakfast. To build up the resources for the invasion, British factory, one British factory, wọ́n increase production. Nítorí pé wọ́n mọ̀ pé ogun ń bọ̀ níwájú. Àwọn ò jagun, but we are preparing our millions of Yoruba people. By now, ó jẹ́ ká ní helicopter tó máa drop flyer sí gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá across tó máa sọ fún wọn bí ìgbà tí 7up ń ṣe advert níjọ́sí ẹran ti fídíò dìdò 7up. Ta rò pé owó ló ń jù látòkè. Yorùbá nation ó ń bọ̀. Ẹ máa múra sílẹ̀ ká da flyer sí gbogbo ilẹ̀ káàkiri títí dé Lagos state kọ́ máa wọ́ndà pé báwo helicopter yẹn ṣe wọlé tó da gbogbo flyer yìí kò sẹ́ni tó máa rí mú helicopter dẹ̀ padà lọ síbi tá a bá ti ààyè ó possible gbogbo kí ni ṣe ṣe bó ṣe ẹnu la máa fi ṣe ẹnu ò ṣe é ṣe Yorùbá nation owó ló fi ń ṣe. We will hire a chopper with full information of leaflet á dá sílẹ̀ ẹni tó bá fẹ́ mú kọ́ lọ máa mú nígbà yẹn. But when you don't invest in resources, how do you do all these things? Ká kàn máa wá sórí social media ká máa pariwo lójoojúmọ́ millions of Yoruba people are still not prepared. Tó bá ní election dé lọ́la wọ́n lọ vote and you cannot stop them. They will vote because prepare mind wọn tó. We need to prepare their mind to get them ready. You need anything here? We need to get them ready and prepare their mind. Multiple things will be going on. We will do many other things that will not come online. But I feel my dáwó fún àwọn tí wọ́n máa tún wọ́n jà lórí social media. Tèmi gbogbo ẹ̀ là ń rí. Mo sọ fún yín bẹ́ẹ̀ dá 1 million charity sílẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá kí àwa diaspora máa dáwó sí ẹ bá mi fún lówó ẹ bá mi kọ́lé fún ẹ bá mi ra mọ́tò fún ó ti síìkì fẹ́ kò lè solve problem tó ń bẹ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ. Government ló máa resolve majority of the problem tẹ́yìn diaspora ń pump owó sí. Owó tẹ̀ ń pump yẹn èèyàn méjì mẹ́ta péré nìkan ló ń support kò support millions of people. Wọ́n dẹ̀ níbi tí yàn bá ti ń ṣe náà ló ti máa jẹ àtayébáyé nìyẹn má kọ̀ jàjẹ́ pa ni bẹ́ẹ̀ níbi tí mo ti ń ṣe ni máa ti jẹ. No ṣé wàhálà bí àṣà brother mi easy orí Koiki máa ṣe díẹ̀díẹ̀ torí pé tó bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà míì iṣan ọ̀run á máa jáde so ibi tí bá ti ṣe kọ́ ni máa ti jẹ yẹ̀bẹ́ ibi tí mo ti ṣe ni máa ti jẹ náà bọ̀ má jàjẹ́ pa ni wọ́n sọ. Ẹ máa dáwó ẹ máa invest pé ẹ ń ṣe charity kan kò lè solve gbogbo problem tó wà ní 191 local government nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nìí. We need a government that is a Yoruba government that will support and love us. Ẹ lọ wo paper lẹ́nìí àwọn northerners sọ pé àwọn ò fẹ́ kí ló ń pè mo ń bọ̀ mo fi get it right wọ́n náà wọ́n fẹ́ kí ni mo post láàárọ̀ yìí they are not ready for it. Wọ́n ṣe bíìlì kan lọ́wọ́ ní senate nísìn. The northern Normandy Fulanis wọ́n wà against it. Cattle grazing they are against it. You know why? Because ọ̀dọ̀ wa ló ti ń ṣe ayé tí màálù máa wọnú igbó tó ń ṣe igbó tí ó jẹ́ pé farm á máa jẹ gbogbo tọ́gbìn síbẹ̀ ṣá ayé nìyẹn. Mo fẹ́ mú story ẹ̀ jáde properly mo ń bọ̀. Òun lélẹ̀ northern senators àwọn ọlọ́pọ̀ jù ní senate northern senators àti macban have rejected the bill restricting elders movement. Why are you moving them? Leave them where they are. Kill them and bring them in the killed one and then we will buy it from you. Wọ́n fẹ́ yẹn they want the cow to be moving from point A to B and destroying people's land. Òun lélẹ̀ òun ló wà nínú paper lẹ́nìí Daily Trust. Northern senators sọ pé àwọn ọgbà àwọn ọ̀fẹ́ anything called the restricting of their cows àwọn màálù wọn. That is the country you want to stay in. That is the country that many of you are praying to remain in. I don't pray for such. Àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀lọ́pọ̀ ní senate. Let's focus back on the D-Day because that is the purpose of the program this morning. As I remember and I salute all those that fought during that time, I am also looking forward to the D-Day of the Yoruba landing. Ìyẹn lèmi dúró dè. The D-Day tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá náà máa sọ pé yes, àti dúró àti ṣetán. Tó ń ṣe pé èèyàn mẹ́fà kan lọ síbì kan, wọn náà fẹ́ gba government. Àwọn ò sínwín. Ṣé èèyàn mẹ́fà ń gba government? When they were going for the D-Day, ẹgbọ́n tó sọ 150,000 troops tó dúró dáadáa. 5,000 ships. Èèyàn mẹ́fà kan wá kóra wọn lọ. Wọn náà àwọn fẹ́ gbàjọba. Hey. Let's go further. Also, a substantial Canadian force had been building up in Britain since 1939. So, àwọn Canadian special force kan wọ́n ti ń prepare wọn as far back as like 1939, 1940, 41, 42, 4 years. Ọdún mẹ́rin nísìn ó ti pẹ́ fọ́mọ Yorùbá láti gbàjọba. no láti gba Yorùbá nation lójú yín. Koiki kìíní ti ń pẹ́ ibẹ̀ tó fún wa pé bàbá máa declare kí ló dé tó declare. Whereas Canadian forces were preparing 4 years kó tó lọ fún that invasion. We will be free. Ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Let's go further. And over 1.4 million American servicemen arrived. Hey, yeah. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè. 1.4 million of American soldiers. One war day in 1943 to partake in that invasion landing. Àwọn ò ní weapon tá fi fìjà. But ẹ sọ pé kí 5 million jáde nísìn. Àwọn 3 million àkọ́kọ́ béèrè pé Koiki owó oúnjẹ tí máa fún ìyàwó mi báwo la ṣe máa ṣe. Owó oúnjẹ tí máa fún màmá mi báwo la ṣe máa ṣe. But about ṣe enough resources. Oh yes, things will be sorted out ahead. Ìyẹn la ṣe ní ẹ lọ máa dáwó sílẹ̀ nísìn. So that ká lè máa prepare fún ẹ bá mi máa kọ́ síbẹ̀ the D-Day landing of the Yoruba nation. D-Day làwa náà máa pè é D-Day landing. Ìjọ tó máa jẹ́ àsìkò tó máa jẹ́ ó kù sọ́wọ́ bẹ Elédùmarè. We must be preparing our mind and our souls for it. Kò ń ṣe pé ká kàn máa gbọ́ program ká máa distract ara wa. Ẹ wá wo o wọ́n kówó fún o wọ́n nà lẹ́gbàá o jágbajàgba jógbójògbó. Jágbajàgba jógbójògbó. Tá bá níjọba tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà ṣé èèyàn kan á máa sọ pé á fẹ́ nàyàn èèyàn kan á máa sọ pé ẹ bá mi fún lówó. You dare not do that in this country. Wọ́n bí bàbá ẹ̀dá. But ẹ̀kọ́ lè mi fi lọ mo kàn sọ fún yín ni. Continue to invest your money in such. Kò lè gbé Yorùbá dìde lọ sí anywhere. Irọ́ là ń pa fúnra wa. 1.4 million American soldiers went for the D-Day. Let's go swiftly because àsìkò ti fẹ́ tó. Number 4, D-Day was an international effort. Kò ń ṣe pé yàn kan. International effort. The D-Day required unprecedented cooperation between international armed forces. The Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force was an international coalition, although the Allies were united against Germany. The military leadership responsible for the Overlord had to overcome political, cultural, and personal tension. By 1944, over 2 million troops from 12 countries were in Britain in preparation for the invasion. Did you hear that? 12 countries were already in UK with 2 million people just to invade one country. D-Day. British, America, Canadian troops, but also including Australia, Belgium, Czech Republic, Dutch, French, Greek, New Zealand, Norwegian, Rhodesia, Polish, naval, air, or ground support. Number 5, the largest naval, air, and land operation in the history. The invasion was conducted in 2 main phases: an airborne assault and amphibious landing shortly after the midnight on June 6, 1944. Over 18,000 Allied paratroops were deployed into the invasion area to provide tactical support for infantry division on the beaches. Allied Air Force flew over 14,000 sorties in support of the landing and have secured air supremacy prior to the invasion. Many of these flights were unchallenged by Luftwaffe. Nearly 7,000 naval vessels, including battleship, destroyer, minesweepers, escort, assault craft, took part in the Operation Neptune, the naval component of Overlord. Naval forces were responsible for escorting and landing over 132,000 ground troops on the beaches. They also carried out bombardment on German coastal defense before and during the landing and provided artillery support for the invading troops. Number 6. German defenses in Normandy varied in effectiveness. Germans tried to defend the northern coast of France with a series of fortifications known as the Atlantic Wall. However, German defenses were often incomplete and insufficiently manned. Members of the French Resistance and the British Special Operations Executive provided intelligence and helped weaken the defense. We must have people that are ready to make sure that they penetrate into their system and we can make that system to collapse. That is how far I can go this morning. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI and I'll be catching up again some other time. Have a very blessed morning. Yoruba Nation D-Day landing will happen in our lifetime. Bye for now.